Hello everybody, it's me, the nuttiest of professors. I'm back. I'm here at the country house. I dropped off the Mini at the storage garage. I picked up this one and I'm about to cut the grass. It's actually quite big because I haven't been out here in about 12 days now. So I'm going to cut the grass and I'll just very quickly show you inside. My contractor was actually just here, and I just met him briefly, and then he had to go. So, but it's coming along, more trim work, and he's starting to get, ready with the water shut off. There's going to be a shut off for it here in the kitchen. So he's doing that, and he's going to hook up the water pretty soon, and then he'll do the cabinets. So we're getting there. I mean, progress is being made. So I'm going to go out, cut the grass, then drive back, drop off the Corvette, pick up the Mini, and go back to the kids. And I will probably post again, podcast again from the ego chair, probably tomorrow, and then post when I can. On the whole, things are pretty good. It's almost a month since the one excursion, so a month clear for me. And up and down, there's been some pull, but there's been pushes, and so far so good. Just a few more days, and I will have my second vaccination. So I'm kind of a little worried about that because I'm worried the cravings may go up a little after that, but we'll see. On the other hand, the pushes will become stronger too, because then I can go to cinemas and I can eat in restaurants again. So we'll see how it goes. I will post again from home, or I will, tape again from home with the kids probably tomorrow. Okay, bye for now. Just finished cutting the grass, and you can see now the difference between mine and my neighbor's, which hasn't been cut yet. They're going to have a cut tomorrow. So, cut the grass, and this side, I haven't trimmed around the trees and things. That's a little bit too fine-tuning for me, and my trimmer isn't working, so I'm like, I'll have the natural look around the trees. So anyway, I'm going to head back to the storage garage in the Corvette, switch to the Mini, and I'll just very quickly show the, it's a nice day, so you can see the lake quite clearly from here. Actually, you can see it better here from the backyard. My father used to keep saying if the neighbors hadn't built this additional garage, we would have had a really good lake view from our deck. But that's okay. I mean, I can see it if the lake from here. It's Lake Erie. It's good enough. So anyway, I'm going to head back to the garage, switch to the Mini, get takeout in London, and then back to the kids. We'll talk to you again from the ego chair, very likely tomorrow. Bye for now. One more thing before I leave. My contractor said that tomorrow he's taking up this vanity. And I think I've mentioned before that I bought both of these vanities in Toronto some time ago. But finally getting to the point that the water is going to be hooked up. The kitchen cabinets are going to be installed, and then these things will be installed. So he has to get this up. I didn't offer to help, but he's hiring someone, which he does when he needs help. So he's hiring someone tomorrow to help him carry that thing up the spiral stairs. And I suppose there's no way it could be like winched up or something. I don't think it's the only way. He says one step at a time. He's going to bring it up, and it's going to go into the upstairs bathroom. The bathroom that we didn't have before as such. We did have the toilet and the sink and the tub, but there was no walls and there was no door. So now, and as I said, that's the reason I gave it to this contractor. He did all the extras after the flooding. So, and the vanity is going to go there. So hopefully by my next trip, the vanity will be in place. Maybe even the water will be turned on. I can start using the bathrooms again. Anyway, bye for now. Talk to you later. Back at the garage, had a very nice top-down drive with beautiful weather today for this time of year. And I'm just about to pull the Mini out, which I had put in the garage temporarily. So gonna pull the Mini out, and there are the other two, the Porsche there, Mercedes there, and old Cadillac here. The BMW, of course, is gone, and the Pacifica is in Toronto. So I'm just going to switch and then switch back to this one and then head back. Bye for now. Talk to you tomorrow, probably. Hello, it's me again, the Nutty Professor, and I am in a Shoppers Drug Mart waiting for my second COVID vaccine. And I went to the one where the Shoppers Drug Mart where I got the first one yesterday, and they booked me for Monday, saying they had nothing available today. They don't give vaccines on Sundays. So even though I got the first one there on a Sunday 3 weeks ago. So I've come here, and this one's actually closer to my house. And actually, I called first, and they said, no problem. They said, walk-ins, just, you don't have to make an appointment, just come in. So I just walked in and gave my information. They didn't even look at the first receipt. They didn't look at my health card. They just, I'm just waiting. So I'll let you know how it goes. Bye for now. Hello, everybody. It's me back home. There's Agita. There's one of the babies. And there's the other of the babies in the chair. And our family togetherness times, the FTTs, are increasing. After a little while, Agita would probably say, I want to go back to my room. But she will stay up here on her cat condo for up to a couple of hours, quite comfortably. And the babies have learned to basically leave her alone. They still try to get close at times, and then they get hissed at or hit at. Now, the other news is I am double vaxxed. I did get the second vax today. I think I taped just before the vaccination, and then afterwards I had to wait that 15 minutes. I was, just hoping I didn't have a seizure, and I didn't. And then I was just so relieved that I was double waxed, I forgot to tape, So anyway, I'm home, and I am double waxed. Okay, I will sit on the ego chair a little bit later, and I've got a few thoughts to share, so I will do that later in the evening. Right now, I'm just going to be the fourth cat in the condo and relax here on my spot, during our family togetherness time. Bye for now. It's a few minutes later, and one baby is still there. One baby is there, one of the twins, on his favorite cat condo, the hallway one. And Agita is there. And she's running because she doesn't want to be in the video. She's camera shy, And she had come to the kitchen expecting some treats, but if I give her treats, then everybody gets up. And then they'll come to the kitchen, and then, Agita starts hissing because they're too close. She doesn't mind if they're all eating at the same time, but as soon as she stopped eating, she notices they're within a foot of her, violating social distance, and then she starts growling and hissing. So I'm like, okay, I didn't give her any treats, so that we didn't have a little snack time, and then so she's about to go back on her cat condo. So that's actually perfect. The whole family is now on their chosen spots. Agita on her cat condo, facing away from everybody, of course. Finn on his cat condo in the hall. And Elsie, who has claimed the white chair. So Elsie on his white chair. And Daddy, myself, here on the sofa. So I will podcast from the, just a few thoughts to share, maybe revisions to PATAP language and stuff like that, and some thoughts. So I will share that later from the ego chair, but right now we will enjoy our family together this time. I might do a little writing here on the sofa. Okay, Bye for now, from all four of us. Hello, everybody. It's me, the Nutty Professor. I'm back, and I'm going to take off my glasses only because the vlog light keeps getting reflected in them. Now, the kids have been fed. Agita's in her room. She likes alone time after supper. The babies, the twins, were running around here in the living room, but now they're in, I think they're in the hall, sitting outside Agita's door. Earlier, I did tell you about how I had my second vaccine earlier today, so I am now double waxed. And so far, so good. A little bit of pain, hardly worth mentioning in the arms at this point. And I had a little bit of an upset stomach earlier, but I think that was because after I had the vaccine, I went to a patio. It was a little coolish, but they had a semi-tent set up, and I added a lot of hot sauce to my omelet. And my friends all know about my hot sauce addiction, and even my very few viewers, the 20 people that watch these things, know how much I love my hot sauces. So I put a little bit too much Kahlua and Tabasco in. I don't think it mixed all that well with the vaccine, but I'm feeling much better now. Everything's fine so far. So far, so good. It's been a few hours. And in 2 weeks, I'm going to be able to eat inside, not just on patios. Now, I want to add a bit to the previous discussion about PATAP terms, and my recursion about 5 weeks ago now, and I didn't want to use the term relapse. I mean, with the PATAP, I've been trying to come up with terms that I feel a little bit more comfortable with than the traditional medical model type terms. And I'm trying to come up with stuff that's a little bit more, to me at least, a little less judgmental. So rather than clean, clear, and rather than recovering addict, struggler, I'm not all that happy with the struggler either. There's a kind of a judgmental aspect in it, but I'm going with it for now. So with the relapse, I said excursion first, and then I changed it to recursion, and because I wanted that repetition aspect of it, the And a friend of mine, a cat rescuer, the local one, saw the most recent video, and she said that at one point I said recursion, and then she corrected me out loud and said it's recursion, and I corrected myself. Now I've been thinking about that whole excursion, recursion, and you know what? I think that to a certain degree, excursion fits at least one aspect, because many podcasts ago, and by the way, I think this is podcast 82 or 83, something like that. But about 70 podcasts ago, I mean, maybe 2 years ago, I do remember in a podcast, I did use a metaphor, and you know how much I love my metaphors and my analogies and my acronyms, but I did use rather than a medical model analogy for addiction, I did suggest addictions as a form of relationship, and in relationships, and I think everyone's had experience with some relationships where you know that it's not good for you, it's unhealthy, and you try to get out, and it's really difficult. I mean, there's a reason the relationship existed in the first place, So, I think in that podcast, I did mention how sometimes you break up with someone and then you meet them, and then you have what they call XX, and I think I suggested that as an analogy for relapse, back then. So, but, and that's what this whole Cursion, so I kind of go, that excursion kind of fits, the relationship metaphor that I was talking about, and it's like you 2 years has gone by, or 19 months, or whatever, and you think of this person, you think of this person, you think of this person, or you run into them, or they call you, or whatever, there was that song during the pandemic, bad song, it's like, if the world was over, ending, or whatever, like, but you meet this person, you go back to this person, and but you know that you don't want to start the whole cycle again. So to me, that's one way of looking at the recursion. The other way is the model I've been using lately, Campbell's the journey, or the heroic or anti-hero journeys to the underworld and then returns. And the underworld, as he says in his terms, it contains unspeakable horrors, which the world of addiction does, and also unimaginable delights at the same time, So I did have that recursion, and there were, and I'm not going to go into all the details of here publicly. I'm not going to go into the details, but there were both, as usual, So there was that recursion, excursion, whatever you want to call it. But and I'm not starting from scratch. This whole thing with PATAP. Rather than say I went 19.5 months clear, and then I had a fall, I had a relapse, and now I'm starting right at the beginning again. I'm not doing it that way. I'm still calling it 20. And these two numbers I don't want to focus on too much. I'm just using them because they're part of the process and as a guide, but I don't want to obsess over the numbers. But I'm considering this as 20.5 months clear, but with one recursion at 19.5 months. So it's still, the goal is still, 2 years, but the goal is also to minimize, to try to keep it at one recursion if possible, but to minimize recursions, because in PATAP, step 2 is the list. And the list is very powerful for me. I've got the 3 kids now, and I've got the podcast, and I've got I want to publish, and all of those things, and the whole underworld. There are those unimaginable delights, and there is learning there, and there is a boon that the hero anti-hero comes back with, and for me, it's material for writing, and it's knowledge, and it's exploring my shadow, and all of that stuff, But there are also the dangers. And all the other stuff, and particularly at my age. So the goal is to try to limit the recursions. So to make it 2 years, but with minimal. So we're going to try to keep it at 1 for now. So that's sort of revisiting that whole recursion, excursion thing. And I want to also provide some updates. Now, a couple of very positive items. My friend in the other province, and I heard from her a couple of days ago about Flame, not his real name. I do try to provide anonymity for cats and humans. So, Flame, the good news is he has not been on another recursion. He is, he went 8 years clear, and then he had a recursion about the same time I did. He went off on his adventures, into the free roll world, and he returned. And there's a lot of dangers there. There's wild animals, there's coyotes, there's roads, there's all that stuff. But he came back, and then he went off again. He came back. He went off again. He came back. So 3 recursions. But the good news is he's staying put in the cat room for the past few days, and I'm not sure if this is because of his willpower or because apparently it's been raining a lot there. It's nice and dry in the cat room. So we're kind of hoping that even when the weather gets better, that he'll decide that he's explored his shadow and he's going to stay safe in the cat room. Might seem a little tame to him. It's kind of like Bilbo Baggins returning from his adventures. And the Shire seems a little tame. But let's hope that and I don't know if he has an inner werewolf, maybe an inner panther, inner leopard, whatever, is satiated, and he's going to stay put for a while. So so far, he's staying in the cat room. Now, the other very good news from her is the new rescue, the the tiny little baby that she found, and she has been, and he's survived, and he's doing well. He's about 14 ounces now, and it's all because of my friend. She's been, spending 3-4 hours a day feeding him, and he still hasn't been able to go to the toilet by himself, and all of that stuff. And she's spent, and she's got all the other rescue cats, and the indoor cats, and the dogs, and the humans, and all her other obligations. So she's spending a lot of time, but it's paid off. And and as I said to her, it's worth it. She saved this little guy, and I'm not going to give his real name, but I'm going to call him Fiat. Let's call him Little Fiat, Fiat 500. And I don't think he would mind if I used his real name, and I don't think my friend would either. But, now that I've started this whole tradition of, using, pseudonyms for cats as well as humans. So Little Fiat is doing very well. And he is, so he's almost 14 ounces, and he sounds really delightful, so that's very good news. Now, another item of good news. My former student, my producer, I guess sort of my former producer, because I don't really, now I edit myself, I post myself, but I think he once said to me that I will always be his prof, and he goes, and he calls me prof. So he goes, you're always going to be prof to me, and so in that sense, I think he will always be my producer. But I do edit myself, and I tape myself, and I post myself, and I do all of that stuff. But and he's been busy with his own stuff. But there's some very positive news. And again, I'm not going to reveal too many details, but I'll just say that he is now formally engaged to his fiancé, and he proposed. And so, to both of you, congratulations from Prof. Excellent news. I was so happy to hear that. And he proposed in a very romantic way, but again, I'm not going to go into the details. That's his story to tell. And as I said, I'm going to provide anonymity. So all I will say about that is it's very, very good news, And congratulations to both of you from Prof, and very best wishes from me, So that was, some very positive news. Now, some less than positive news, and I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but I got a message from from somebody I knew from the past, and I won't even say, male or female. I'll just say he or she had struggled, and I had heard some time ago that they went clear, for quite some time, for years, but I heard from them that they've sort of hit a bad patch, and they're struggling again. So, and I'm not going to go into details, and I haven't heard from them again, but I just want to wish this person the best, and I don't say stay strong, because when I'm struggling and somebody says to me, stay strong, I feel like saying, fuck off, because, that, stay clean, stay strong, it kind of rubs me the wrong way. So I came up with, rather than that, the PATAP term, add oil, and it comes from Cantonese, because my producer was Cantonese, and there's a saying in Cantonese, that, you wish somebody to add oil, you're wishing them energy, You're like going, a car gets low on oil, you top up the oil, it's got energy to keep going. And I did say in a message to this person that I do believe he or she is, cat-like, and cats have, 9 lives. They might have used up a few, but I think they have at least a couple left. Yeah. So, there's cycles, and this person is struggling, but I do wish them the very best. And I say to this person, add oil, and that's it for now. So from the Nutty Prof and my cat family, bye for now. See you next podcast.